You already know that the product is governed by its product control documentation, and that operations is required to produce the item in accordance with that documentation. However, from time to time, it becomes either convenient, necessary, or desirable to temporarily deviate from the requirements of that documentation. This comes in the form of two categories, either permissive or instructive. Permissive deviations typically are initiated by manufacturing to accommodate some unique situation. Perhaps some parts were delivered a little bit out of spec, and they want to get permission to use these anyway, because they're not that far out of spec. Or they're unable to obtain the necessary components, the prescribed components, but they can get something very close to it. Maybe they can get a 2% resistor instead of a 1%, and they want to know if that's okay for a limited period. Other deviations are instructive, where for business reasons or unique customer requirements or something like that, management is going to instruct manufacturing to do things a little differently for a limited period. Now, these are temporary changes, either in quantity or in time. You can, if you've got 2,000 out of spec base plates for your strip chart recorder, you can specify the deviation to consume these 2,000 units or pieces. Or for a marketing reason, it might be time. It might say from March 1st to March 31st, apply a green sticker onto the shipping box. Now, for these time-based deviations, there has to be a limit. And that's up to you or up to your company to decide. It could be a 1 month, 2 month, 3 month limit. Now, at the end of that limit, you may find that it's necessary to continue the deviation. You do not alter the approved deviation. You instead initiate another one. And you reference the previous one, and you explain why you have to extend this bad behavior. Now, deviations in form are very similar to ECOs. However, they're a very different animal, and they warrant their own procedure. But you don't get documentation change instructions, you get documentation deviation instructions, how to deviate. These need to be explicit, and in on your form, your description of change has to be very explicit as to what's going on. The reason section is quite similar to, just about the same as an ECO. You want a concise, clear statement of why you need to do this awful thing. Remember, try to write it as a quick note to convince somebody who doesn't want to do it that they have to do it, or that they should do it. The title, just like the ECO, except the final word, the action word, will probably be a little different. It'll probably be something like exception, waiver, accommodation, a word of that type. And for the approval process, you should follow the same approval process as the ECO. That should work. And that's about all there is to it. Again, they can be a little exciting and a little controversial, but it keeps life interesting. So thank you for listening, and for now, that'll do it, and good luck.